Welcome to Suburban Warrior, the podcast that will impact, inspire, and empower you to transform your mindset and become the badass warrior that you are. I'm your host and fellow warrior, Crissy Pfeiffer, former clinician and corporate marketing exec turned multi-passionate entrepreneur, performance and life coach, and mom to 4 not-so-little warriors. Each week, I will bring you honest conversations with inspiring guests to share their stories of resilience, optimism, success, and simple yet effective strategies so that you transform your thoughts and change your behavior to get the results you want in your life. You will be empowered to take action, warrior up, and believe in you. Let's do this. What's up, warriors? Welcome back to another episode of Suburban Warrior Podcast. I'm your host, Crissy Pfeiffer, and today is almost Mother's Day, actually. And I had an entire episode ready to go to launch this coming week. And I'm kind of feeling like I need to just get on and get real with you guys because, boy, are these times crazy. And, you know, I woke up this morning. It's Saturday. It's like 34 degrees out on May 9th, which is insane. It's almost Mother's Day. And for me, Mother's Day brings up a lot of emotions that, you know, I don't normally feel all the time. But not having a mom and having lost my mom at a young age when I was 20, and I lost her a couple weeks before Mother's Day. This time of year really brings back some true like PTSD feelings for me. And I'm feeling down, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling overwhelmed with everything that's going on and thinking about the future and when things open up and what does that look like. And, you know, I just thought about my role as a mom. And one of the things that we do as moms and the things that we're here to do is to protect our children. And I'm so confused and overwhelmed. And even, you know, the nurse in me and the science that I know, I still can't figure out what's right and what's wrong. You know, how do we protect our children moving forward? You know, we keep talking about, can't wait for this to open and we can't wait for things to go back to quote unquote normal. But I guess I'm just wondering, well, what does that even look like? What is normal? And when things do open up, do we just send our children out, put them back to playing sports, back to play dates and sleepovers? I don't know. I don't have the answer. But the thought of doing that seems so unsettling to me because we don't know what we don't know about this virus, right? I mean, it's literally like 3 months old. I'm thinking it took us years and years and years to understand other viruses like the plague and the flu. And now we have 3 months under our belt. And I'm just scared. I don't know what to do or what the right thing to do is. And it's hard to admit that I'm scared because I don't like living in a place of fear. Right? I very much live my life in a state of faith over fear. I live my life in a state of optimism and positivity and focusing on the good and focusing on the present. And I am doing all of that. I just want to be honest and let everybody know that even though I am focusing on all of that, I am still really scared. I just am. There are times in the day that it hits me and I'm shocked and scared and overwhelmed. And I think that those feelings are normal. I think that anyone who's feeling them needs to sit with them and honor them and really feel through them, because I know the times when I try personally to push them away or push them down and act like they're not happening, they just come back, and they come back with a vengeance. And then I start to get really upset. So I think I just want to offer advice to feel through them, because there's definitely lessons and magic in those feelings. We have to be able to feel through them in order to get to the other side. So what does that look like? Well, today I can tell you what that looks like for me is, here being the day before Mother's Day, it's about feeling loss, feeling and grieving the loss of my mom that I haven't had around for 24 years, and feeling that loss and sadness. And, so many times looking for advice and wisdom from her that just isn't coming. So feeling that loss and that sadness, and also loss for what our life was just a few months ago. Loss for, the activities that my kids were doing, the socializing that we did with friends, the future that we were planning, because I really am finding it very difficult to plan a future, to think about what is it going to look like this summer? What is it going to look like this fall? And I think every time I allow myself to go there, I do feel loss and worry. So for today, I spent the morning feeling those emotions, crying through it, and then saying, you know what? I need to do this podcast and feel real with everybody and get real with everyone, because I know that I am not the only one. I'm not the only motherless daughter out there. I know that there are many other people that are missing their moms today. And, I know I'm a mom, but it still makes it really, really hard when you're celebrating Mother's Day without your own mom around. So for all of you out there that are also feeling that way, I just want to acknowledge that and say you're not alone. I get it. I feel you. I'm with you. And it's okay. It's okay to feel the feelings of sadness and fear and worry, because that's just part of our human experience. And I do think that, at the time that we're in right now, we spend a lot of time trying to make everything perfect, right? I mean, the perfect Instagram page, the perfect social media, the perfect meals to make our kids. And, now it's the perfect quarantine, making sure that you are keeping your kids busy and teaching them new skills and making sure that they're becoming better human beings. Meanwhile, trying to make yourself a better human being. And I think that that's not realistic. And it's super important for us as moms to recognize that and to not feel guilt or failure if, we're not coming out of this quarantine with, Picassos or Mozarts. So, there's an interesting exercise that Brene Brown talks about, and, it's part of it is understanding what kind of numbing behaviors that we do. And we all have them, right? We all have them, whether it's, the classic ones such as drinking or eating or gambling for some people, eating ice cream, whatever it may be. We have numbing behaviors that we do to try to suppress those feelings of sadness or fear. And I think now more than ever that we're stuck at home, people are doing those types of things. again, could be scrolling social media constantly, watching Netflix all day. And again, not that there's anything wrong with that if that is a behavior that comforts you as opposed to numbs you, because there's a difference. And I would really love to suggest that you reflect on some of those behaviors and ask yourself, is this a behavior that I'm doing that is numbing or comforting? Because there are behaviors that we can do that comfort us, right? I mean, sometimes watching Netflix and eating a bowl of ice cream is comforting for us, and that's okay. But there also can be activities such as journaling, meditating, going for a walk, whatever it may be that is really a comforting behavior to you that isn't blocking out the true emotions that you're feeling. And I think that that's important to just reassess as we go through this period of time and be okay with the fact that we're sad and there's things that are going on and emotions that we're feeling that we don't normally feel, and understand that the behaviors that we're doing will determine how we come out of this quarantine, right? And you don't have to come out of it speaking another language. I mean, if you do, good for you. That's amazing. And, kudos to you. But you don't have to go through the quarantine coming out speaking another language. Coming out of it with some sanity, I think, is a huge bonus, a huge plus. So I guess what I'm trying to say is set the bar a little lower and be okay with the bar being a little lower for you and for your kids and for your family, because we are in an unprecedented time, in an unprecedented situation. And I think just being able to set the bar a little lower and come out of it with some sanity is literally the goal. I don't know what this will look like on the other side. I don't know what summer will look like. I don't know what fall will look like. The only thing that I can control is my emotions and how I feel between now and then, and deciding what I'm going to do, what actions I'm going to take, and what are the things that I can do for me and my family to keep myself happy, sane, but also recognize and give myself grace for the days that I really need to feel the negative emotions, the sad emotions that come along with being in a global pandemic. So for all my mamas out there that are listening, I want you right now to stop and think about all of the crazy, amazing things that you do as a mom, right? Are you working from home? Maybe. If not, and even if you are, you're homeschooling, possibly. You are cooking. You're not only cooking the food, you're making sure that there is food in the house to eat. You are doing laundry. You are making sure that their mental state is good. You're making sure that physically you're moving, the kids are moving. You are psychiatrist and chef and, you name it. So instead of thinking about all of the things that you could be doing or feeling down about yourself, wondering if you're doing as much as you can, think about all the amazing things that you're doing each and every day for your kids. And making sure that there's toilet paper in the house, which I'm telling you, right, these days is not such a simple task. So I just want you all to believe in the good that you're doing, the good that we're all doing collectively as a whole. And when you start to feel down and you start to question yourself, or you feel guilty, or you feel all those emotions that the negative self-talk starts to bring up, I want you to just say, nope, not today. Not today, negative self-talk. I'm not having it. And focus on some type of comforting behavior that is going to shift you and make you feel good. Because you are great. You're amazing. You are a suburban warrior. And you warrior up each and every day. You did it before this pandemic, and you're doing it now. And we are all going to come out on the other side of this stronger, fiercer, and so much better than we were before. We got this, ladies. I see you. I appreciate you. And I know that we are so much better together than we ever are when we are alone and isolated. So let's stick together. Let's listen to podcasts. Let's share ideas. Let's be honest and real and authentic with each other. Let's call each other and say, I'm having a really horrible day and I need to talk. And thank each other for when we lift each other up. And that's all I got for you today. So have an awesome week, and thank you for lifting me up. And you know what? Join our Suburban Warrior community on Facebook. It's such a warm community, and I'd love for all of you to be a part of it. And I would just love to hear your thoughts on this episode. So drop a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. We always love hearing from you. So that's it, and I will see you next week.